there's really anything on ground to improve. We struggled as a strike.
The Minister of Education volunteered and said, give me 2 weeks. It was.
Good morning and welcome to the AM News on Global TV in Abuja, Nigeria's capital. I am Priscilla Obasi. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has declared security agencies to fish out the perpetrators of the killings and violence in Plateau State. His spokesman, Dele Aleke, has said. The president strongly condemned the recent interceding killings in the Mangu local government area of Plateau State and parts of Plateau State and Benue State. Tinubu also said the country must break the circle of violence. The president as well as the leadership of the Ariwa Consultative Forum, Jamaatul Nasir Islam and Christian Association of Nigeria to work together to help foster genuine and long-lasting peace. He also charged the governments of Plateau State and Benue State and emergency response agencies to provide support and immediate relief to victims who have been displaced as a result of the conflicts. In Nigeria as the lowest in the West African region. While describing the development as work planning, Bashir Abdulkadir raised the concern in an opening event of a 3-day workshop on the harmonization of Nigeria's VAT Act with ECOWAS directives. The program was organized by ECOWAS Commission under the context of implementation of support programs for tax transition in West Africa. The PATF aimed to improve management of domestic taxation and ensure better coordination in ECOWAS and West Africa economic and monetary unions. Abdul Kadir, who stated that exemptions on VAT in Nigeria was not aligned with those of ECOWAS, called on exemption of few products and goods and services from VAT for poor households to benefit from VAT policy. President Bola Tinubu has asked Nigeria's Senate to confirm the appointment of the new service chiefs. The confirmation of service chiefs were contained in a letter read by the President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, at the plenary on Tuesday. Kikelomo Okere has the details.
The service chiefs to be confirmed are Major General Christopher Musa, Chief of Defense Staff, Major General Taurid Lagbaja as Chief of Army Staff. Others are Rear Admiral Emmanuel Ogala as Chief of Naval Staff and Air Vice Marshal Hassan Abubakar as Chief of the Air Staff. The Senate President, however, referred the confirmation request of the service chiefs to the Committee of the Whole on the ground that the Senate is yet to constitute its various committees.
I am pleased to present for confirmation by the Senate the 4 nominees listed below as Chief of Defense Staff and Service Chiefs of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Chief of Defense Staff, Major General C.G. Musa. Chief of Army Staff, Major General T.A. Lagbaja. Chief of Naval Staff, Rear Admiral Emmanuel Ikechukwu Ogala. Chief of Air Staff, Air Vice Marshal H.B. Abubakar. The Senate is invited to note the current security situation of our country, which requires concerted efforts of both the legislature and the executive to ensure a well-protected nation.
Kikelomo Okere, Global Television News, Abuja.
President Bola Tinubu has appointed 20 new aides about 3 weeks after he made the last set of major appointments. The new appointments include those of the Senior Special Assistant SSAs, Personal Assistants, PAs, Personal Physicians, and Photographers. According to the list, among the new appointees of the President are veteran journalist Tunde Rahman, who has been designated SSA Media, Abdulaziz Abdulaziz, SSA Print Media, and Ibrahim Masari, SSA Political. Others include his personal physician, Adekunle Tinubu, Private Secretary and Senior Special Assistant, Dami Lotun Aderemi, Senior Special Assistant, Private Secretary, Toyin Subar, Senior Special Assistant Domestic, Otega Ogra, Senior Special Assistant Digital New Media, Demola Oshodi, Senior Special Assistant Protocol Tope Ajayi, Senior Special Assistant Media and Publicity Yetunde Sekoni, Senior Special Assistant Moturayo Jinadu, Senior Special Assistant Shegun Dada, Special Assistant Social Media, and Paul Adekenya, Special Assistant Logistics. The new appointees received their appointment letters dated 4th of July from the Presidency. The National Chairman of the All Progressives Congress APC, Senator Abdullahi Adamu, has cautioned the party chieftains against nursing high expectations of being appointed as ministers by President Bola Tinubu, saying everyone cannot be a cabinet member. Speaking at the meeting of the National Working Committee and the APC State Chairman at the National Secretariat of the party in Abuja on Monday, Adamu used the opportunity to explain the delay of the unveiling of ministers, head of departments and agencies, adding that Tinubu was carrying out extensive consultation before making an official announcement. The Senate has inaugurated 6 special committees. Announcing the composition of the committees during the plenary, the President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, also inaugurated the Selection Committee as well as that of Appropriation. While the Selection Committee comprises of all principal officers, Akpabio said the Appropriation Committee, headed by Senator Solomon Adeola, was set up in the event of any emergency supplementary budget that may arise from the executive. According to the President of the Senate, the Committee on Rules and Businesses will be headed by Senator Titus Zam, while Obeyemi Bamidele is the Vice Chairman. Kikelomo Okere has the details.
The Senate service has Senator Sunday Karimi as chairman, while Williams Jonah as his vice. Ethics and Privileges has Oke Asia as chairman alongside Ibrahim Khalid, while Public Account has Ali Wadada as chairman and Oye Nwai Ebonyi as vice chairman. Akpabio further named Baba Umar as chairman, Senate Committee on Legislative Compliance, and Asuko Ekpenyong as vice, while Committee on Media has Yemi Adaramodu as chair and Salisu Afolabi as vice. President of the Senate also announced Senator Aliu Ndume as vice chairman of the Senate Committee on Appropriation.
In accordance with Senate Standing Order 95B as amended, under sundry matters and in anticipation of the possibility of receiving supplementary budgetary obligation, the Selection Committee has also resolved to set up the Committee on Appropriations. Distinguished Senators Adeola Solomon Olamileko will be the chairman, followed by distinguished Senator Mohammed Ali Ndume as vice chairman.
The inauguration is in line with Senate standing rules, which empowers Parliament to, within 14 days after inauguration, set up the aforementioned committee. Kikelomo Okere, Global Television News, Abuja.
The Federal High Court Abuja has adjourned to a later date the case filed by the detained leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu. The defendant is seeking enforcement of his fundamental human rights under the law. Sandra Abba has the details.
Prior to this time, Nnamdi Kanu was on trial for his alleged involvement in terrorism and had been on criminal trial before Justice Bintan Murtala Yako of the Federal High Court, Abuja. During the course of trial, his defense team applied to another high court, seeking a declaration that the matter of the rendition of the plaintiff from Kenya, where he had been staying, was allegedly unjust and inhuman. The defense team thereafter approached the Court of Appeal, Abuja, which held that the High Court did not have jurisdiction to try Kanu, dismissed the counts and discharged the appellants.
This matter actually was filed before the judgment was delivered in our appeal on October 13, 2022. The substance and effects is we're inviting the court to interpret the 11th section of the domestic and international laws, which the federal government previously violated in an attempt in abduction of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in Kenya and his consequent extraordinary rendition to Nigeria. So the court is invited to interpret those laws and also make pronouncements on reliefs we are seeking for. However, the substance of this case has been settled by the Court of Appeal judgment in principle. So because the questions we are inviting the court to answer in this case has been answered in the positive by the Court of Appeal. So what we are here actually just to inform the court that this question has been answered, and also to grant release we are seeking for, and make far-reaching pronouncements and damages accruing therefrom. That's all. Thank you.
But former Attorney General and Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami San issued a legal advice that Kanu was only discharged and not acquitted substantive charges against him. Kanu also filed a rights enforcement suit before another court seeking monetary reliefs and compensation for his detention. At the resumed date for the hearing of the matter before the Federal High Court, Abuja, the matter could not be heard due to the workload before the court.
Last time the matter came up, it was actually 11th May 2023, came up for mention, and the lead counsel, Professor Michael Zekuma, was in court. So, and the court said since coming up for mention, because penultimate time he came up, the court didn't sit. So the date was given off record. So the court says this matter is coming up for mention, as his practice that it will be an order will be taken for hearing. Our lead counsel, Professor Michael Zekuma, was in court, and the date was adjourned, matter was adjourned for today for hearing. So we are informed this morning in court that his lordship is not disposed to entertain matters going on for hearing, and or matters that he only take matters going on for ruling. That's in this case he's ready to deliver ruling on matters he has taken and judgment. So consequently the matter has been adjourned.
Meanwhile, July 20th has been fixed for ruling by Justice Binta Yako on Kanu's application, seeking an order of mandamus for the DSS to allow him access to his medical team. Sandra Akpa reporting for Global TV.
A High Court of the Federal Capital Territory yesterday deferred hearing on a case instituted against the immediate past Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Mr. Abubakar Malami San, for allegedly abusing his office. The suit is seeking an order to compel the erstwhile AGF to pay 1 billion naira as damages to an international businessman and property developer, Mr. Cecil Osakwe. The plaintiff, in a legal action he instituted through his team of lawyers led by Mr. Victor Giwa, told the court that the former AGF, using his office, twisted him into giving out 2 units of 2-bedroom flats in one of his properties situated as Mekong Close, Maitama, Abuja, to a civil servant. Osakwe alleged that Malami forged him to hand the property worth over 130 million naira to Mrs. Waziri against the substituting order of a court of competent jurisdiction. Justice Olushemi Adilaja adjourned the case for definite hearing, even as he directed the service of all the necessary court papers on the ex-AGF Malami San to enable him to enter his defense in the matter. He further directed that a proof of service of the suit and hearing notice on Malami should be made available to the court. All Progressives Congress presidential aspirant Ibinabo Dukumbo has called on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to ensure women equal participation and leadership in political and public life so as to achieve the Sustainable Development Goal by 2030. She made the call while addressing journalists in Abuja on the ministerial list of President Tinubu. Sandra Appa brings us more details.
The APC presidential aspirant laments that women participation was too low in the past general elections, saying out of 109 senators, only 3 women were elected as senators, and out of the 36 state governors, no woman is a governor. She admitted that she is qualified to be one of the ministers of President Tinubu's cabinet. She, however, pledged to be committed to the president on his journey of renewed hope.
I do not only deserve to be minister, but I am also qualified to be a minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I have so much ideas, agenda, which some of them are security, how to end oil thefts, women empowerment, youth participation, agriculture, and small-scale business, and as the former presidential aspirant and also the leader of Rivers APC.
She further pleaded with the president to appoint more women and youth into ministerial positions, more women as SAs, board members, executive secretaries, managing directors, head of parastatals, ambassadors in his government.
I will plead with His Excellency to appoint more women and youths into ministerial appointments, more women and essays, board members, executive directors, ES, managing directors, and head of parastatals, ambassador in his government.
Ibinabo is the first female APC presidential aspirant that declared her presidential ambition and decided to withdraw from the 2023 presidential race after her declaration on the 6th of April. Sandra Akbar reporting for Global TV.
The federal government has arraigned the candidate of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) in the 2023 governorship election of Ogun State, Ladi Adebutu, and 9 others before the State High Court in Abeokuta for allegedly vote buying. The All Progressives Congress (APC), through its Ogun State Chairman Chief Yemi Sanusi, had written a petition to the Inspector General of Police (IGP) over the vote buying allegation, which was investigated by the State Criminal Investigations Department, Elewere, Abeokuta. Upon conclusion of investigation, the federal government, through the Director of Public Prosecution, Federal Ministry of Justice, filed criminal charges against Adebutu and his co-defendants at the High Court sitting. The case was initially adjourned till Monday, 10 July 2023 by Justice Abiodun Akiyemi due to inability of the court's process servers to serve Adebutu and his co-defendants with the information sheet. However, as at the set time, the matter was called on Monday, Ladi Adebutu remained at large, while the second, third, and fourth, fifth, and 10th defendants, in presence of Ogunbona Hamad, Tamini Yi Walid, Egusola Owolabi, Sani Adejoke, and Malik, were present. They pleaded not guilty to the 4 counts preferred against them, and their counsel, Muiwa Obenewa, subsequently urged the court to grant them bail. The All Progressives Congress (APC) candidate in the Adamawa governorship election, Aisha Dahiru, popularly called Binani, had again sued the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) over the nullification of her declaration as governor of Adamawa State on the March 18 governorship election. Binani, through her counsel Michael Aondoka San, filed a fresh suit before Justice Donatus Okorowo of a federal high court in Abuja. In an ex parte, the APC candidate in the poll said INEC, the People's Democratic Party (PDP), and its candidate, Governor Ahmadu Fintiri, earlier announcement as winner of the poll by the state's resident electoral commissioner (REC), Hudu Yunusa Ari. Aondoaka, while moving the motion on Monday, argued that it was the Election Petition Tribunal 49 of the Electoral Act 2022. He said the decision of INEC would deprive the Binani of Section 286, subsection 6, which gives 180 days within which a petition filed before the tribunal on May 6 could be dispensed with. He therefore sought a review of INEC's action, adding that an undertaking had been signed to prove to the court property. Announcing the ban on Monday in Maiduguri, Governor Zulum said within the last 5 years, many people were killed as a result of metal scavenging. That had informed the government of Borno State to investigate the nefarious activities, Zulum said. Governor Zulum explained that those scavengers are notorious for destroying both public and private properties in most local government areas where the activities of Boko Haram forced residents to flee. He noted that the state government said the ban on metal scavenging extends to all forms of informal and unregulated metal recovery activities, including dismantling, collecting, and transporting